Excellent. Well, first of all, like the other presenter said, thank you very much for allowing us to present today at your webinar. We really appreciate it. And thank everyone who's attending for taking time out of your busy schedule to learn a little bit more about our company and what it is we have to offer. My name is Pedro Mercado, and I'm the new relations manager here at HELPcard. I deal with the enrollment and facilitating new merchants to get on the program. So what is HELPcard? We are a consumer financing company. So more specifically, we're a non-recourse secondary revolving unsecured line of credit, and I'll go into all the details about what every little non-recourse secondary revolving unsecured line of credit is and what we have to offer. But just a little background on our company. HELPcard is based out of Springdale, Arkansas. We were founded in 1983. Our founder is a dentist and still practicing today, and he saw a need for financing with his patients' out-of-pocket expenses. So he started the company, and HealthCare started off as a medical service credit card. And for several years, that's all we did. But in about 2008, after the recession, we branched out to different markets, including retail, automotive, and home improvement. And we deal with accounts such as Nautilus and Select Comfort, just some of our bigger corporate accounts, and we do financing for them, providing a secondary financing solution for them. Revolving means we're a complete billing service. HealthCard is FDIC regulated line of credit. We're going to be your one-stop shop for billing and collecting services. We take care of everything related to billing so that you don't have to. HealthCard provides your customers with a credit line that you can tap into to submit charges for products or services that you render. We provide the ability for instant financing decisions. In today's society, no one has really time for anything anymore, so being able to get a quick decision on a credit card application will help to ensure that your staff is able to close the sale and your customers have the financing they need to get their purchase completed. And a revolving line of credit provides affordability. A lot of times, one of the major objections to any sale is I don't have the money, I don't have the cash. Well, if you're able to qualify them for a credit line, then they're able to make low monthly payments on their account. So that objection of not having the funds available can be easily addressed with a revolving line of credit. Customers can pay their balance in full at any time, or they can just make their minimum monthly payment and take as long as they'd like to pay their balance. So it works just like your standard Visa, MasterCard. They don't need any down payment to make a purchase that's financed through HealthCard. And it helps build loyalty. You're able to remarket to these customers if they have a credit line with you, and they kind of remember that you helped them out to get the product or the service that they couldn't afford had you not had financing available. Which in turn helps grow your business. Having a third-party financing company like HealthCard take care of the billing and collecting and the financing allows you to focus on your priorities, which is move more product or services. And that way, HealthCard can take care of everything else as far as the billing and collecting goes. We're going to help you reach out to a larger demographic of customers, and that is going to increase your bottom line, your volume, your profitability. And once the line of credit has been paid down, you can re-tap into it and you can submit new charges for new purchases. Bottom line really is without having a financing option for your customers and a revolving line of credit, it's going to be hard to grow your business in today's economy. So all the big retailers do it. So if you're not doing financing currently, then it might be something that you want to consider if you haven't considered already. But having a financing company doesn't resolve all your issues. I mean, it does you no good if you have a financing partner and they're not able to get you any approvals. So HealthCard is a secondary lender, and what that means is that we're a little bit more lenient in our lending. All financing companies out there can approve the A credit because it performs well. It's excellent credit. They're lower risk. These people, pay their bills. So it's easy for Visa, MasterCard, American Express to approve A-type credit. However, not all customers have excellent credit, and it's usually the ones that are moderately risk or B-type credit that need a financing option. And HealthCard can approve those people too. But even more so, we're going to dig lower into the credit pool and approve the individuals with C-type credit. These are higher risk individuals. Typically, your people in the lower 600s. Doesn't necessarily mean they're bad people. It just means they've had some credit issues in the past. As long as they meet our minimum guidelines for lending, we're willing to take that risk to get you the approval so that your staff can close the sale. We really want to provide merchants with the largest ability to reach out to the largest demographic. So having this ABC type tier credit financing option is going to allow for the maximum number of approvals. And you'll always know that you're getting the maximum number of approvals with HELPcard because we're going to dig as deep in the credit pool as we can to get you that approval. Non-recourse. So HELPcard is a non-recourse program. Non-recourse means that we're going to assume all the risk and responsibility. There's no risk for you as a merchant if these loans default. If we never see a payment from these customers, we're the ones that are taking that risk, not you. As long as you've rendered services or products, then HELPcard is responsible for billing and collecting. We're going to absorb all the losses. If we can't collect on them, we charge off. But that's our problem, not your problem as a merchant. Once you submit the charge, you can expect funding within 48 hours into your banking account. It's a direct deposit. We don't require a certificate of completion or anything like that. You render the product or service, and you can submit funding on that account that same day that you get them approved. So you don't have to wait for a credit card to come in the mail. And we have dedicated personal service, not just for you as a merchant, but for your customers who are also our card holders. We have a dedicated customer service department and also a dedicated collections department should the accounts fall off. But we take care of all that, and we do pride ourselves in being able to provide this non-recourse program with a personal touch, building that rapport with these merchants and with our card holders. Now, because HELPcard is non-recourse, we're an unsecured line of credit, and we're a secondary lender, we are going to retain a percentage on the transactions you submit to HELPcard, and that percentage is to cover the losses that we anticipate in the market. But it's also to cover the cost of the credit lines to make these, or the cost of funds to make these credit lines available. Typically, our rate in the home improvement market is 12% of the transaction. However, with AIN, we were able to secure a much more favorable rate, and we're doing the merchant fee at 8.9% of the transaction. So for every $1,000 financed through HELPcard, you as a merchant receive the bulk of your funds within 48 hours. You get $911 of that $1,000 direct deposit into your account, and that's money that you can use for your immediate overhead. And much like big box stores, you do have the option to offer promotional terms. Currently with AIN, we have negotiated a 6 months deferred interest program. 6 months deferred interest means the customer doesn't pay any interest for 6 months as long as the balance is paid in full within that 6-month time frame. You're buying down their standard APR, and if you can choose to participate or not to participate in this promotional term, if you do choose to participate in the 6 month deferred interest program, you pay an additional 1%. Typically, that charge for the promo is 1.9, but again, we value the AIN relationship and its members, and we reduce that from 1.9 to 1%. So if you're looking at the total cost, if you're offering promos, you'd be at 9.9% of the transaction. And if you're not offering promos, you'd be at 8.9% of the transaction. It's a little bit higher than your standard Visa, MasterCard, and obviously with your pay anywhere swipe percentage, that was so low. But the reason why we are retaining a higher percentage, again, is we're approving a higher risk individual. Because if they don't have the Visa or the MasterCards and they're not able to pay anywhere, then you're not able to get them financed. HELPcard is going to be able to get those individuals approved. This is just an example of how financing can help if you don't currently have financing in place. With HELPcard, I mean, if your average ticket price is $3,000, and it could be less, it could be more, but just on average, I'm assuming for home theater systems or security systems, we're at $3,000 ticket price. If we can get you an extra 3 sales per week, you'd be looking at an extra $9,000 a week in revenue. In a year, you'd be at $156,000 in revenue. And by the same token, this is revenue that you're probably missing out on if you don't currently have financing in place. So it's just something to consider when looking for a financing partner and why financing is so important to be able to grow your business. Aside from the percentages that we retain on the transactions, there's no upfront cost to you as the merchant. So you don't pay anything to enroll in our program. You don't pay anything to maintain the program. So there's no monthly fee. So getting the program set up doesn't cost you anything on the front end. And it's best to have it set up so that when you do have someone that's looking for financing, you have it available. And chances are, if they're looking for financing and they're asking about financing, it's probably too late. You don't have it in place, and you may lose that customer. Um, with our program, there's no minimum volume requirement, so literally you have the program there available when you need it if you have it set up on the front end. It doesn't cost you anything. Your HELPcard transactions are submitted to us electronically. That includes applications and charges. So there's no need to purchase any special equipment or POS terminal. Since we're providing them with a revolving line of credit, where you're able to tap into our lines of credit by submitting the charges directly on our website. We're also going to provide you with all the training and materials you need to market the program for you and your staff. And we can retrain individuals if we need to, but the process is fairly simple. I mean, you submit an application, you get them approved, you submit a charge, and you're done. It doesn't get much simpler than that. Now, switching gears a little bit, we're talking about consumer terms. We're regulated by FDIC, so we are obligated to send customers an actual physical credit card. And this is just an example of what the credit card will look like. But again, you don't need the credit card to swipe it. It's not something that you'll swipe on a terminal. You'll simply get the app ID or the account number, log into our website, and be able to access the credit line that way. The consumer terms, because it is a revolving unsecured line of credit, the standard APR for that type of credit line is typically 28.99%. However, once again, we wanted to provide the best rate for our AN members, so we have reduced that to a 19.8 APR. And keep in mind, this is an unsecured revolving line of credit. It's not an installment type loan. So that 19.8 is a very competitive rate. It's obviously a lot better than 28.99. But you do have the option to buy that down with that 6-month deferred interest program. So they don't pay any interest for 6 months as long as the balance is paid in full. But if you don't give them that 6-month promo, then the 19.8 would apply. So your customers can enjoy a very competitive rate just right off the top of the bat. As far as credit limits go, we are a revolving line of credit, so our minimum credit limit is 500. Our maximum is 15,000. Typically it's 10,000, but with the home improvement market, we were able to bump that up to 15 because some of the tickets are a little bit higher price. The credit limits are based on the applicant's creditworthiness. So based on their debt-to-income ratio and what their monthly tolerance is for a payment, we can determine how much of a credit limit they can qualify for. And they'll qualify anywhere between $500 and $50,000 just based on creditworthiness. Affordability with a revolving line of credit is there. Their payment is calculated at 2.7% of the highest balance. So for every $1,000 finance, they're at $27 a month. As their minimum payment goes down, as their balance, they have a higher balance than that, then it's always calculated at 2.7% of the highest balance. But it stays fixed at that. And HELPcard reports to all 3 credit bureaus. So having a revolving line of credit will help increase your customers' creditworthiness and improve their overall creditworthiness. At the same token, if they're not paying on their HELPcard account, then we're reporting that too, so it could hurt their creditworthiness. But that's the extent of where unsecured line of credit lies. We can report, and we can try and collect, and if we can't collect, then we charge off. But we do report to the credit bureaus. As far as the process go, I touched base briefly on it earlier. I mean, you submit the application, you submit the charge, and you get paid. And it's really just that simple. As far as the application process and submittal goes, you can do it 2 ways. You can submit a paper application, which we'll provide to you. The customer will fill it out, hand it over to the staff, and then the staff goes online to our website, log into our merchant portal, and give us the information so that we can give you the decision on whether or not we can or can't approve the line of credit. The other option would be for us to provide you with the web link. The web link can be embedded on your website, and the customer can go directly to the web link by clicking on it, submitting the application for credit, and we still give you the same decision. So you know usually within a couple of seconds whether the account has been approved or declined. If they're doing the paper application option, then a fax copy of that paper application needs to be sent to us within 5 days, because that's what's giving us permission to pull a copy of their credit bureau. But if they're doing the web link option, then no paper application is ever required. As far as submitting the charge, again, you'll go to our website, you'll log in, you'll use the reference number we gave you on the approval notification, and you'll tell us how much to bill to that account. You'll be prompted to print out a charge slip, and that charge slip is what your customers will use to consent the charges can be put on their account. We don't require a copy of the charge slip to get you paid, but we do recommend that you keep the charge slip on file for 5 years. In the event that there's a dispute, our legal department will just request that so that we can address the dispute. But typically, if services are rendered, then there's not really a dispute. But for your protection, you might want to keep a copy of that charge slip on file, sort of a receipt for the services that were rendered. And once we receive the charge electronically, you receive funding within 48 hours, and you're pretty much done. And this is just an example of the application data that we'll need to pull a copy of the credit bureau for the customers. This is what our application for credit looks like, but it's very basic information: name, date of birth, social security number, address, employment, and income information. And once we have that, then we're able to pull a copy of the credit report. If they have a co-applicant, this is also where you would put it in. But if there's no co-applicant, then you would just submit on its own. And even if we're not able to get approval just by themselves, you can always resubmit the application with the co-applicant, and that could help strengthen the application for credit. I mentioned the charge slip earlier on submitting charges, so this is what that, just an example of what the charge slip looks like. The fields will be populated with your merchant ID and their name, but they basically just sign it and date it. And you can give them a copy for the records, and you would keep a copy for your records. Again, in the event that there's a dispute or the consumer is claiming that they never agreed to these charges to be put on their account. And then as far as enrollment with HELPcard, we facilitate our agreement via DocuSign. So it's an electronic agreement that can be sent out to you electronically. Once we receive the agreement back, we can start the enrollment process. In addition to the agreement, we will require a voided check to make sure that we have the correct routing number and account number on file, and then 2 years of profit and loss statements and balance sheets for the business. Since the nature of our business is financing, financials just provide us a better understanding of your business. And having a financial analysis just helps us understand that you're running a healthy and sustainable business. So, but if you have issues with providing financials, I know it's a very sensitive subject, then we can, there's some workarounds on that, but we would prefer to have P&Ls or tax returns, but we can always work around it if that's a deal breaker. And then the enrollment takes about 14 business days. It is a pretty thorough process for underwriting on our end, and currently it is a 14-day turnaround time. But once we receive the enrollment back and we get you set up on the program, you're able to start using the HELPcard as a form of payment right away. And this concludes my presentation, but I just wanted to end with whether you're choosing to offer financing through our company or in a different company. It doesn't have to be ours. I mean, financing is a must in today's economy. The purchase of your products are in constant competition with other purchases. You're always competing for that customer's dollars. So having a fresh line of credit specific for your product or services ensures that that customer is going to be spending his or her dollars with you. Big box retailers have capitalized on it, and they're growing from offering financing solutions. They're not waiting for the customers to ask for financing. They're putting financing in front of their face, and they're advertising it. If you wait for a customer to ask for financing and you don't have it, by the time you get it set up or you're able to provide a solution, it might be too late. So financing just gives your customers the solutions they need to make the purchase. It gives your staff the solutions they need to close the sale, and it gives your business the solution it needs to grow. I hope the presentation has been informative, and that you have a better understanding of our company and the importance of providing financing for your customers. At this point, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you all.
Thank you, Pedro. Todd, you can go ahead. I'm unmuting your phone. You can enter your question.
Hello, Pedro. Thank you for your presentation.
Thanks, Todd.
My question is, We've had some dealers ask us, what is the best questions a dealer can ask the customer without offending them to uncover if the objection to a sale is due to the need for financing?
Well, the customer will kind of tell you whether or not they want or need financing, but basically the way you present this to a customer would be, you would, talk to them about pricing, and you would discuss that, and if they're hesitant to say, well, I don't have the cash, they might not say it. You could always say, well, we also have financing available with a low monthly payment plan option. Be something you're interested in, or do you have the cash or credit available now to be able to pay for the product or the service? So I guess presenting it as a low monthly payment plan option on the front end might give the customer a sense of that you have financing available, but also be able to open up that door to see if it is a concern. But typically we don't purchase because we don't have the money, so that's always a concern. And just putting up out there that you have a low monthly payment plan option available could deal with that objection before it even comes up.
Thank you so much for your presentation and your time. Very much appreciated.
Y'all have a great day.
Same to you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.